Yo, how you guys doing? Welcome back to the House of Business podcast. I just got off another off another episode, so I kind of got mixed up. But welcome back to the House of Business podcast 2.0. This is your host Caleb Thompson. Man, we are back coming live from New York City, and this is the place where we give you the knowledge and the tools to execute your dreams and your visions. Man, I hope everyone's having a great day out there today. Man, today we're going to have a good one for you. This is going to be called the power of long-term vision in business. But you can apply this. This is the power of long-term vision in business, but you can apply this to your own daily life and your own daily goals. It doesn't necessarily have to be business. You can have long-term goals in order to, let's say, create some type of financial stability for your children or your grandkids or things like that. So a lot of times you can use business, but you don't necessarily have to have a business to become wealthy or to be able to power a trust. There's plenty of ways to become wealthy without being a business owner. You can go into stocks, bonds, you can day trade. You learn the skill of day trading. You can, plenty of ways that I can think of, man, that you can become wealthy, man. And it doesn't necessarily have to be owning a company, or if you did own a company, you can just, pay someone to run it for you. A lot of times when you're first going into business, if you are an entrepreneur, but you're not really an entrepreneur, but you are a business owner and you like to invest, one thing you can do is go into franchise companies. These companies already have the business operational systems embedded into the structure of the company. They already know how the company's ran. They already have the main corporate office giving out promotions, promos on foods, discounts. So just like a McDonald's or a Burger King or a Dairy Queen, these are franchise opportunities where you do not have to build them from the ground up. They are completely ready. They already have the systems. You have a system to tell you how to make a certain type of burger, how to make a certain type of ice cream. All these systems are already embedded inside of the company when you build the company, when you purchase the company. So if you would like to go into business, but you are looking for a way to go into business without having to build the operational systems, go throughout the business plan, the trademarking, any of that, go into franchise. Get your franchise company, a company that's already been built. You can go on Biz to Sell, or you can go on various other websites. You just own a car wash, own a self-wash car wash, you know what I mean? Own a couple of those, I know plenty of people that became millionaires just by owning car washes. All they had to do was just keep up the maintenance in the car wash, pay someone, if there's more car washes in the area, they have more than one in the area, they can just pay a maintenance guy to come in, fill out a report every time they come to the car wash, what needs to be done, submit that report. They would give them a budget to take care of that, whether that's gas, lawnmowers, or they will have a shed on site or something, or they'll pay a contractor, but just basically maintaining the property, making sure that the roof is good, making sure that the water pressure is good. So you can own a couple self-wash car lots, and that'll kind of bring down the overhead of you won't have so much overhead when it comes to running one that you have to hire people to wash cars and all these other things. So, but try that out. But anyways, you want to go into business, go into franchise. That will get you started. Man, my number one go-to when starting a business is vending. I don't know why, but man, I love vending companies. So start a vending company, man. If you have a friend, a mom, a school that you used to go to, you had an old teacher that you knew, you was kind of cool with the principal, you had a school that you went to, what you need to do is you can go and contact or you had a favorite teacher. So when you have a favorite teacher that you knew, you know what I mean, you can go and contact her and say, hey, Miss Whoop de Whoop, this is my old high school. I'm just now going into business. I wanted to know if you guys would, consider, adding some vending machines for the students in this school. And if so, then I would see if you would talk to the principal or the finance director and see if we can draw up a proposal where I can give you guys a percentage, and that'll be a way of me giving back to the school, and I can give you guys a percentage to have the machines here, and also, you know, and donate as well. Something you can come up with some type of contract, but start with people that you already know, like an old teacher from high school that can be used as the bridge to getting your vending machines in schools. If you go to your favorite nail salon or barber shop, you know, you can go and talk to those guys as well while you're getting your hair cut and say, man, you know what? I got a vending machine. I want to see if I can put it in this business, man, and we can split it. You know what I mean? We could split the profits. Every time that I come in and I take the money out, I give you a percentage or, you know, or a set rate, you know, to keep the vending machine here. And then it might even get to the point where they may see you making so much money that, you know what I mean, they may want to put their own vending machine there. You know what I mean? Just never consider it. But at least start. At least you'll be able to do contracts. Put them on a 12-month contract so they can't just kick you out once they see you making a lot of money. People do that. They have a business or establishment. They never thought about putting an ATM machine or never thought about putting a vending machine there. But then you come in, put a vending machine there, put an ATM there, your guys drop a contract. And then after they see how much money that is bringing in, they would say, well, I could have done that myself. You know what I mean? But it'll be too late. They'll be on the contract. So make sure you get contracts when you do vending so, you know, someone won't try to replace you as easy. But this is the power of long-term vision when it comes to business. I'm going to give you 3 talk points here as I usually do. Talk point number 1, I build with the future in mind, not just for immediate results. You know, there's, I'm going to tell you something. Everyone is not built for entrepreneurship. They are not built for the hate. They're not built for the rejection. Some people don't even have to be an entrepreneur, but if you are just in sales, if you are just a salesperson, you do consultations, you do sales, selling certain products, you do door-to-door sales. If you're not used to rejection, and every time that you're rejected, then you're ready to quit. Every time something doesn't go your way, or every time you're not getting the clients and you're ready to quit, or you feel like life is over, business is not for you. Every time you throw a temper tantrum when someone is succeeding in an area that you're not in, business is not for you. You need to go work a 9 to 5. You need to go work a 9 to 5 until you can develop the emotional intelligence to the point where you don't want to take a shortcut just because you're competing with someone else. So what you want to do is you want to just go find, develop a skill set, and then bring that value to the marketplace and allow someone to exchange your time for your money until you can get to the point where you can learn the business and learning how to deal with employees, learning how to build personal relationships. And I always talk about emotional intelligence is a big thing. You hate to just have a bad day and then just pour it out on all your employees. You know what I mean? You hate to have that. Is not what leadership is about. So, but when you build with the future in mind, I want you to understand something. It doesn't matter how much money you have. You know what the real flex is? When you run a business or a company, the real flex is that you now provide money and stability for the families of all your employees. That's a bigger flex. You know what I mean? I'm taking care of 30 families, you know what I mean? And I'm taking care of 50 families, you know what I mean? From the money that this business generates, and I'm able to hire people in order for them to take care of their families. That's the real flex. It's not having the money. It's who you can help and whose life that you can make better by the money that's generated from that company. So it's not really a big flex having a nice car. You know, it's not really a big flex. Even all those things are going to come anyway if that's what you prefer. You know what I mean? I would drive something somebody wouldn't even think that I would drive. You know what I mean? I'd probably drive a 2006 Nissan. You know, as long as it's, you know what I mean, and be one of the wealthiest men in New York City. You just never know. You know what I mean? I don't have to have a nice car. You would never even know if. You never even know if I got it or if I don't got it. You know what I mean? I'm going to dress the same. I'm going to still be myself. But the thing is this. That's the real flex. So when you build a company or when you build anything, let me put it like this. If you go into a relationship just because someone is pretty or you think that this person is handsome, when you need to go into that relationship with the future in mind. Don't just say that, you know, if they're not on the same page and really trying to build something and establish a legacy with you guys, and you got to know it's going to be some turmoil. It's going to be some disagreements and things like that. But what that does is it sets a goal for you guys to work towards. It's hard to stay in a relationship if you guys have no goals goals to work towards. And you know why I can say this? Because, I had a lot of goals and I had a lot of things that I was building. I went through a divorce. And when I went through a divorce, I lost some of those things, like a business, lost a condo. But the thing was this, you know why I lost those things? It's for the simple fact that I was hustling, trying to build something for our family, but I didn't include my wife. You know what I'm saying? So she thought I was making an exit plan, because I'm just like, I'll let you know about it. I wanted to, get everything together and then be like, once you walk into the establishment, let her know this is yours. You know what I'm saying? This is ours. But it don't work like that. You know what I'm saying? When you are married and you are in a relationship and you have goals and dreams, your partner's job is really the person who has the dream or the goal or has the business plan. It's the other person's job to help to fulfill that to the point where it can provide for the family. It's not about competition. So, a lot of things that I looked at and I thought, man, it's competition, or she's just mad, or she's just pissed because I'm doing this and that. It really wasn't that. It's just that I didn't include her in what I was building, and it made her feel left out. And it just drove a wedge towards us. But me not understanding that at that time, I'm thinking like, man, I'm just trying to build something that can be able to provide for our family. And maybe she's just jealous. No, it's more she wants to be a part of it. So that caused a wedge in a relationship. So you guys do need to establish what you guys want to do. And I can speak about this because I've learned from it. But when you build with the future in mind, and build with the future in mind with the person who you are with already included in the plan, they need to have a position. And then once you establish a position that they will play, then while you're working and you're building operational systems and you're building a business plan and you're building a logo and you're building, you're finding the right manufacturers and looking up inventory, that person can be taking classes on bookkeeping or sales or learning how to interview people. So they need to be working while you're working. She doesn't need to be sitting there on the phone. And I'm like, man, okay, I'll just give me a second. I just worked 12 hours, and then on my off time, I'm trying to build a business outside of working as a professional chef for 12 hours. So, you know what I mean? So me and her really didn't really spend any time together. She's probably scrolling on TikTok. Who wouldn't want to be with someone else? You know what I mean? Who wouldn't want to cheat? I don't care if you had all the money, you had a allowance, you can go buy whatever you want to buy. You know what I mean? The bills were paid. You don't have to worry about anything. But who wants to sit in the house all day bored? You know what I'm saying? Waiting on the man to come home. When you come home, he's building. But you know what I mean? You do have to take that in consideration when you marry somebody that's ambitious and trying to build. But the thing is, you need to include your partner in what you're building and give them a position where they can start to learn and have a goal to work towards. So when it comes all together, everything will be taken care of. But don't just look for immediate results. It takes time. So I learned short-term wins are important. It's always good to have some of those short-term wins, so that way you can celebrate and you can see exactly what moves you're making. A short-term win for me is me making a small list. I can make a small list and say, man, I need to prep dinner. I need to prep dinner. I need to go to the post office. I need to go talk to this person. Those are small wins for me, just knocking things off of that list that I know that's going to move the ball forward in my life. So, a small or short-term win, well, we're talking about business, could just be getting your first 5 customers. Just doing something anyways. That's a small win. When you tell someone, you know what, man, I'm gonna start a trucking business. I need to find a way to get a box truck, and then I'll what do they call it? I forgot what it was called, but I'll use an app to just take loads across, take certain loads, pick up loads and take certain loads, you know what I mean? Travel certain loads, and it'll kind of be a free trip with me going out of town, and taking loads here and there. I kind of sightsee as well. And that could be a good thing and a good family investment. But that person could say, well, they're worried about right now. We don't have this and we don't have that. So still sticking to the plan and still wanting to accomplish your dream, despite a lot of time people are not going to believe in you until they see the fruit of it. So you just that's a win. That's a short-term win. Even though you haven't bought the box truck, even though you haven't got the money or the loan to get the truck, just continually to move on with the plan is a short-term win, and it deserves a congratulations from yourself. So short-term wins are important, but long-term vision is way more important. So long-term vision is what is the end goal. So let me say, you have to. People are gonna say, man, you crazy. You know what I mean? But this is just how I think. This is how I think. If someone else can do it, I can do it. And if they can do it, I can do it. You know what I mean? But the truth is, not everyone can do what everybody can do, for the simple fact that what someone else is doing is just not tailored to me and who I am and my makeup and my skills and my gift. But as in finance wise, I believe that, I can have a $600 million estate, you know what I mean? Outside of business, I can leave $300 million to my wife, and I can leave another $200 million to my kids and have it split up. I'll have it, give them 20% at 30, 20 more percent at 35, and then the last 25% at 40, and the last 25% will automatically go to their children that they have. So I believe that I can break that down. I believe it's possible. The Colonel Sanders, 70 years old, he's the guy that made KFC. He didn't get rich, and he really didn't get rich and make a lot of money until he was 70 years old. So, you know what I mean? So a lot of people, man, came in the game late, man, and just blew up overnight. And then even after they left, man, they still left a legacy, and it's $1 billion business. So it doesn't matter exactly where you start. There's people that graduated college at 90 years old. There's people who went to prison for 20 years and, did some heinous things, and then they got out, and then it just, their life completely changed. So, man, it's just a choice that you decide to make, man. There's no reason to be mad at anyone. I can see someone that has a Ninja. I used to always want a Ninja, the motorcycle, you know what I mean? But I can see someone that has that, and then instead of wanting what they have and being jealous that they have it, I'll say, man, what can I do to to acquire something that I've always wanted, something like that? Well, first thing you can do, probably take a couple steps, fix your credit, whatever. Anything that someone else has, you can have it if you just apply yourself and just establish the right connections. It's not any gate. Some people could try to gatekeep certain information from you, but the truth is, if you seek out knowledge, you will find it. Knowledge is so open. I can get online and say, how do I cook blueberry pancakes, or how do I fix a turbine engine, and that would give you specific steps and what to look for on how to fix an engine. And you've never been an engineer, you know what I'm saying? You've never been whatever they call it, an engineer. Ever. You never went to MIT or anything. So knowledge is so open. You can go pick up a book on physics, and you're not even a physics major, but you can still understand energy. You can still understand the bioelectric field. You know what I mean? You can still understand the human psychology, certain things about physics that people don't understand, but you can go and get a book, really put your time and attention into it, and you can do the same thing that other people do. You just have to apply yourself. And it's not, and I'm not saying it like that. It's not easy for everyone, because everyone learns different. But I'm saying the more that I play the guitar, the better I get. You know what I mean? I may not sound like Jimi Hendrix. You know what I mean? First time picking up a guitar, I'm sounding like B.B. King's grandson. It's just not going to happen. It's just not realistic. But what I am saying is this. If you take the time to really put the time in, there's going to be some days you don't want to do it, but you will be better, and the results will show. You can't work out for one day and walk around like the Hulk. You know what I mean? No, you still got a beer belly. You know what I mean? You did 30 push-ups, and you think you're supposed to be walking around like, you know what I mean, like The Rock or something. No, it doesn't work like that. It's a process. But the more work that you put in, you will start to put in so much work to the point that you don't even feel like you're accomplishing anything, but it's because you keep raising the bar on yourself. But the results will show. So plant those seeds. But you can't make every decision based on quick profit. You have to consider where it leads years from now. There was this, and what I mean by that, you have to consider where it leads years from now. If I would have taken that deal with ADIA, with Abu Dhabi Investment Authority, something happened with that company that I would have took that money. I would have took $2.5 million at $2.5 million over 10 years at a 2% annual, which I had to owe them back. But I could have taken that money, blew the company up, blew the business up. I had clientele from all over. But the truth was, like I said, their values didn't align with my values. Something happened with that company where I got a contact from one of the guys that own the company. He was like, somebody has been using, so I guess they're going to went into this big scandal. But just think, if I was a part of that company, and then now the company is blown up, and then it comes out that, you know what I'm saying, it's a big name, but then we're tied into some type of international scandal when it comes to a place in Abu Dhabi. So you have to be careful on just taking those quick wins and those quick losses. Those quick wins just based on quick profit. You got to consider where it will lead you from now on. You know why they're talking about what happened with R. Kelly now, because he didn't consider, you know what I mean? He didn't consider the pleasure back then, and thinking it wasn't going to come up later. And that's I'm using that as an analogy when you're doing business. You have to be careful who you do business with, and not look for the quick profit, because a lot of things will come back to bite you later on. I went through a situation, man, dealing with an ex, and the version of the person I was then, I would call, say certain things on the phone. They'll record me. They'll keep text messages to try to use it against me. So once I'm way past that version and grown past that version, they want to try to bring me back with, 10 years of old text messages and try to make people believe that I'm somebody that I'm not. I'm like, shoot, I was. You know what I'm saying? I was in the streets then. You know what I'm saying? I was doing this then. I was doing that then. So people will want to try to use certain things against you, but you have to be careful. You have to be mindful of what you do, what you say, how you do it, how you move. And a lot of times, man, you just got to be okay and hold yourself accountable. Even if, if that's the past, that's the past. But, just from this point on, just be, every time that you talk to someone, let me put it like this. Every time that you talk to someone, whether on the phone, whether it's your mom, whether it's your brother, whether it's your cousin, whether it's someone at work, you treat everybody as if they're wearing a wire. I'm not saying being paranoid, but what I am saying is this. You need to hold yourself to a standard as being a business leader, or even just being a father. You know what I'm saying? That's a place of leadership, or being a mother. You know what I mean? It's just certain things that, you know what I mean? You know that, let me put it like this. A lot of people that you're around right now, you really can't trust them. But y'all may do the same things. Y'all may smoke together. Y'all may drink together. But to be honest, you can't trust this person. So, you know what I mean? But just because you're cool, you'll give them certain information. You wonder why you can't get ahead in life and certain things are happening to you. Yeah, y'all may be in the same group. Y'all may be in the same coven. Y'all may be in the same business. But for a fact, as soon as you walk away from these certain type of people, they're going to be talking about you like a dog. They're going to be fine. You know what I mean? So, it doesn't matter. The thing is, you need to treat everybody like they're wearing a wire and like they trying to set you up to some degree, or not even really trying to set you up, but just trying to develop some type of evidence on you. So if something goes wrong, they need someone to blame. They're going to try to find a scapegoat. So you need to be careful how you carry yourself around people. Or the same church. I said a couple of them say church too, because most people that do things like that are in the church. But let me put it like this. So, and that's just being honest. So talk point number 2, if you're just not tuning in with us, man, welcome in, man. This is the House of Business Podcast 2.0. It's your host, Caleb Thompson. This is a place where we give you the knowledge and the tools to execute your dreams and vision. We're talking about the power of long-term vision when it comes to business, but this can be applied to every area of your life. I don't care what it is. You can also apply it to any other area of your life. We just gave you one talk point, and that's building for the future. Build with the future in mind. Number 2 is let your vision guide your decisions. Let your vision guide your decisions. Let your vision guide your decisions. There's no way in the world where you saying you want to be a firefighter, but you doing soccer activities. You know what I'm saying? Not saying that it can't be a hobby, but do not spend all of your time and your extra time where you could be studying on certain ways to lift fire equipment, certain ways to wear heavy material and climb up a ladder, certain tactics and strategies you can use to save someone from a burning building. Those are the things you're supposed to be researching if you're saying you're supposed to be a firefighter. But then you over here trying to be messy. You know what I'm saying? You spend all your free time playing soccer. That's not the vision that you had in mind. That's not the vision that your actions are not lining up to your vision. And we're not just talking about that. And we can say that we can apply that to anything. Say that you want to finish nursing school. If you need to finish nursing school, you need to be studying about certain ways to approach a patient, certain ways to get a patient to talk to you and when they're uncomfortable, you know what I mean, to really let you know what's going on, certain ways to engage and to identify with certain aspects of ailments without a person really having to say anything. But it's about touch points, pressure points. You need to know about, separating pills. You know what I mean? The pharmaceutical side of it. You need to know about, how to document a logbook. You need to know how to do your rounds. It's certain things that you need to know about anatomy. So why would you spend all your time on Fortnite. Now, this doesn't align, and I said it like this for a reason, because I don't think a nurse would be on Fortnite, but sometimes, but why would you spend all your time on Fortnite when you're going for a nursing degree? And I'm not talking about male nurses. I'm saying something that's totally different that you wouldn't believe that would happen, but, people do those things. But, that's so far from everything. Why would you sit here and, you're supposed to be chasing after this dream, but you're practicing basketball like you're in the NBA, like you want to go to the NBA. You don't have a desire to go to the NBA. This is just a hobby, but you're spending more of your time working on your jump shot and knowing you're not going to go pro when you should be spending that time working on your dream to accomplish it. So that's what I'm saying. So make sure that your vision guides your decisions, where you're trying to go in life. Make sure that every decision that you make helps you to get closer to that goal or to that dream. Don't just be out here doing one thing, man. You want to be the best mechanic in town, but you know what I mean? You act like never mind. But you want to be the best mechanic in town, you need to start finding out how to work on these newer model cars and ways and strategies that you can get better clients that has better cars. You need to learn how to work on a BMW. And if you know how to work on a BMW or a Benz, or you know how to work on some of these high-end cars, start to do research on how to learn how to work on a Ferrari or a Lamborghini, or start to get in touch with some of these shops and start to figure out how you can change the oil, from the hood in a Bentley, where you won't have to take everything. Like, figure out these things, and then you can get higher paid customers, when you learn how to work on better cars. So, but try to take it to the next level. You can't chase every opportunity. You have to stay aligned with your bigger picture. You can't chase everything. There were some trends, man. I could have made over $10,000 by a trend. And the trend was like when the Black Lives Matter came out and all these other things. Yeah, there were certain products that I could have sold and I could have attached it to the Black Lives Matter. But the thing is, I don't want to be on one side or another side. I want to be aligned with who I am and my values. Yes, I care about black people, but then I also have a brother. You know what I'm saying? I also have a brother that's a homicide detective. You know what I'm saying? That's a sergeant, a homicide detective. But I also have friends from my past that's gangster disciple, that's gangsters. So, and then I have, you know what I mean? But the thing is this, I want everybody to be safe and everything, but I'm just not going to take a side because it's not aligned with what I'm doing. What I'm aligned with, what I'm doing is building these companies and being able to provide jobs for individuals to bring up the economy. And one way to do that, I feel like that I can do that to keep people safe, is allowing them to express their creativity where they're not gatekeeping and we're not firing anyone for we're trying to help you reach your full potential and turn your life around and break that poverty off your bloodline. So the way that I can keep people safe and keep people from having these type of encounters and dealing with the police and things is try to help people to change their mindset and their life. But I'm not only telling you to change your mindset, I'm not only telling you to change your life, I'm also want to be able to provide a job or a place where you can come and continue to build up on a seminar or a podcast. You can say, yeah, okay, well, I'm hearing you saying change this and change that, but I have really no training ground to be able to make sure that I make progress. So I want to be able to do that and provide jobs and places where people can come in and they can bring value to the marketplace, but also, exchange it for money and then also gain other skills. So in that way, that can keep someone out of trouble. You know what I mean? That can keep someone. This is different than a community or a hood, a neighborhood just putting a teen center inside of a teen center inside of, a community. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's a teen center, but the same thing they're doing, they're just sitting there chilling, playing basketball. You may have a couple programs and things like that, but that is not the same. It's not the same thing as you intentionally want to have emotional intelligence classes. You need to have ways that a kid can read an account ledger. You need to have ways that just things that school will not teach you. You need those type of classes inside a community center. You need them to be financially literate. You need them to understand about communism and the way that the U.S. government runs the system. You need to teach them about GDP, gross domestic product, about each business sector and what they bring in, and how do we determine the demand and what business sector has the demand in the marketplace, just in case they want to go into entrepreneurship. We need to teach them how to be authentically themselves, despite what people think. So these are classes that they don't teach you in school that really needs to happen. We just don't need we don't need another teen center. We don't need another school. We don't need another private school. We don't need these things. We really need children out here, man, that really understand the world we live in and helping them to become fully conscious. But your vision becomes your filter for every business move you make. So when you start to make decisions, once you have that vision, every decision you make, it has to be filtered through the vision of what you're trying to do and what you're trying to accomplish. You're gonna say like, man, this sometimes, man, I caught myself. I'm saying, man, like me having a drink at this time of night is just not aligning with what I'm trying to do in life. You know what I mean? It comes a point in time where you just gotta like, man, some things you just gotta let go. You can't get to where you need to get to. You can't do the things you need to get. You just know sometimes, okay, it was fun while it lasted, but it's not moving the needle forward. You know, it's cool, it's relaxing, you know, chill, listen to some music, but there's a time and place for that. It does not align. So you got to filter that through your vision. You got to get back realigned and figure out exactly where you're going and what you're trying to do. And a lot of those habits and a lot of things cannot come. Not saying you may not slip back into some things, not saying you're going to be perfect, not saying you're going to be spotless, but what I am saying, you need to do it in such a way where it is strategic. You know what I mean? Where it's strategic, where you know exactly, okay, Friday, if I get this $2 million contract, I'm going to celebrate. But you don't make it a habit just because you want to feel that. You know what I mean? What do they call it? I forgot what it was called. But that dopamine, or you want to feel relaxed, and they'll release those endorphins. You know what I mean? So you're doing it every day to try to catch that same feeling. You don't want to do that. So you have to learn how to discipline yourself, and you have to learn that this is not moving the needle forward, whatever it may be. And then just filter those decisions out through that. Number 3, I stay consistent even when results take time. I stay consistent even when results take time. I'm gonna say you got to treat your business like a baby. You know what I mean? When you're raising a baby, a woman doesn't have a baby and expect the baby to be paying bills within 2 weeks. You know, expect the baby to be taking out the trash at 5 months old. You know why? Because she's being consistent with pouring into that child until it gets to a point where it has the strength, it has the knowledge, and is able to be a help. What she's poured into the child, she poured in time, attention, love. She changed his diaper, took him to school, loved him, and then it gets to a point in time where the child is able to help around the house. That value that you put into that child, they're able to pour it back into you, or use that value in order to lessen the load in your life. You know, I don't care. Some people tell the child to go get the remote. You know what that is? You took care of them to a point where you're able to go tell them to get the remote, and they can understand to go and get the remote, and it takes a little bit more stress off of you. So I'm saying it like this. That's the same way with business. You know, so stay consistent even when results are taking time. And I'm not saying have to have children just to do that, but they need to be useful. You can have, but man, I seen a 3-year-old child look up and from my recollection, didn't know how to spell, but knew how to find every cartoon they exactly wanted to watch on a iPad. I'm like, how does this baby know what to watch and what to type in when this baby can't even spell a name? He can't even, you know what I mean? He can't even, count to 10, you know what I mean? But he is fully online, fully functional, and know how to use an iPad, know how to play games on an iPad, know how to do all these things at such a young age. So that's the same thing. If a child can learn how to operate an iPad at such a young level, then they can understand to get the shoes out of the floor, and they can understand to make their bed, and then they can understand to do certain things to take the load off of you. You can understand to wash those dishes, or at least put them in the dishwasher. If you can understand how to play Fortnite, if you can understand how to, you know what I'm saying, how to cry for what you want something, you don't get it, you understand that maybe if I cry, I may get it. Using that tactic, then you can understand about learning how to wash these dishes. You can understand how to clean up this floor. You can understand these other things that need to be done to take the load off of you. So that's the same way. So even though, like with business, even though I'm putting certain type of work in, I'm not really getting the value back out of it, because I'm still nourishing and pouring into the business. I'm working for the business until the business get to a point where it starts to work for me. So that's the same concept that we would like to use when it comes to that. Your business is your baby. So you have to trust the process, stay committed, even when things feel slow. Myself, I focus on daily actions that compound over time into real growth. So sometimes, man, things compound over time, man. You get one client and you just like, oh man, we made it. You know what I mean? We made it. Started from the bottom. Now we're here. You know what I mean? You got one big client and then you act like you can slow up off the gas. No, sometimes you need to continue to move forward, and you need to continue to expand. I always heard this too. it's okay to celebrate, but never celebrate too long. Sometimes you can celebrate too long and it can ruin relationships, or it can ruin your pace. You know what I mean? The pace at what you're working at. So when you stay consistent with a clear vision, success becomes inevitable over time, basically. So, man, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, man. This is the House of Business Podcast 2.0, man. I hope everyone enjoyed this episode. And this episode was the power of long-term vision in business, man. We see you guys back here next Saturday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, man. Coming live from New York City. It's a place we give you the knowledge and the tools to execute your dreams and visions. Peace.